Hello my lovelies, how you all doing on this really wet, dreary February day? If you're new here, then a warm welcome. If you like this video, hit the subscribe and thumbs up and all that jazz, and come join our spooky crew, because a lot of people that watch my videos, thank you, aren't subscribing, as you can see. So hit the button, join the crew, get down. But anyway, moving on. Unsolved disappearances, murders, curses, Bigfoot. What's going on? Yes, it's another episode of Mysterious. Today's episode is all about the Bennington Triangle in southwest Vermont, encompassing the ghost town of Glastonbury. Learn to speak English and put your teeth back in town. Is the Bennington Triangle, a place as spooky and as strange as the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, yes. Glastonbury was once a booming logging town, but was abandoned at the end of the 19th century. It is now an untouched, wild, pristine wilderness. The town is now mostly known, and that area, for being the setting of 5 very strange, unsolved disappearances. Were they murders? Who knows? As well as curses and strange goings on. Oh yes. Our first disappearance is in 1945. And it started with Middy Rivers, who was a 74-year-old hunting guide. Now, they were very experienced. They knew the land. They were leading a party of 4 around the Hell Hollow area when he went missing. Now, he left the party and told them he had gone for a while and maybe a short distance, and no one knew what he was doing, but you know. And he said that he would meet up with them at camp for lunch, and then 3 p.m. came and there was no sign of him, and they started to get worried, so the group went out to look for him, and they couldn't see him. So by this time they then got the authorities in, and they had an extensive search. They couldn't find anything. The only thing that they did find was a single rifle cartridge that they found in a stream, and they think that he'd leaned over and a cartridge had fallen out of his pocket and had fallen into the stream, but that was the only sign of him at all. 300 locals and US soldiers from Fort Devens or Devens? One or the other. Fort Devens, I think. Looked for 8 days. And like I said, apart from the cartridge, no sign of Middy was ever found. Then, December the 1st, 1946, 18-year-old Paula Weldon was a student at Bennington University, or college, who on that Sunday decided she was going to hike a leg of the long trail. She was wearing a very easy to spot red dress. She entered the long trail by Glastonbury Mountain. Now, Paula never showed up for her Monday classes, and this wasn't like her at all, and so this spurred a massive search for her. It involved over 1,000 people. There was help from the FBI, and there was a reward for $5,000. Now, Paula was seen departing on Sunday to go out on a hike, and numerous people, including Ernest Whitman, who was a Benning's Banner employer said that he saw her and he gave her directions. She was not wearing a jacket, and the temperature was 50 Fahrenheit dropping to 9 Fahrenheit. Whatever that is in Celsius, because I'm a Celsius girl. She was allegedly seen on the trail by an elderly couple who were 100 yards behind her, and they say that when they turned a corner in the trail, well, I should say, backtrack. They say they saw her turn a corner in the trail, and by the time they reached that said corner, she had disappeared. Nada. There was no sign of her at all. And despite the large search party and the offer of reward, and they used helicopters, no clues were ever found. Now, poor Papa, what does he put the teeth in? Put the teeth in to take hand. Paula's father, as well as others, criticised the authorities for their lack of any sophisticated methods in handling the case, and that led to the founding of the Vermont State Police 7 months later. Paula's case is still open to this day. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, this is a really strange disappearance that occurred. It was exactly 3 years later to the day that Paula went missing, 1st of December 1949. Now, 68-year-old James E. Tedford got on a bus to Bennington after visiting family in St. Albans, Vermont. Now, eyewitnesses, including the driver, state that James had been in his seat as late as the last stop before Bennington, but when the bus pulled into Bennington, James was nowhere to be found. His luggage was still in the luggage rack, and there was an open bus timetable on his seat. If witnesses are believed and he hadn't gotten off and no one just didn't pay attention to him, though if you're going past the driver, I should imagine it'd be pretty hard not to notice, but things happen and people aren't always aware of what's going on. But if witnesses are to be believed, James vanished from his seat on the moving bus going down Route 7, exactly straight through the Bennington Triangle. Alright, now this is one of the saddest disappearances. I'm a mum, so October 1950, 8-year-old Paul Jepson vanished. He was last seen happily playing in his family's pickup truck while the mum went to tend the pigs at the dump because they were the caretaker. His mum and his dad, the caretakers, or I suppose said dump. And when she got back from tending the pigs, he was gone. Now, hundreds of people joined in the search for him, including a New Hampshire sheriff who brought in a bloodhound. Now, the bloodhound, he did at one point pick up the scent of little Paul, and it stopped at a nearby crossroads. Now, this had people thinking that it was a possible abduction by a motorist along the road. Now, coincidentally, that stretch of road was the same little crossroads that Paula had disappeared on prior. Now, of course, some people said that Paul was killed by his parents and that he was fed to the pigs, and that's why there was no sign of him ever found. But the father said it was the law of the mountains that had pulled him in, as he had spoken of nothing else for days before he disappeared. 2 weeks after Paul went missing, 53-year-old Frida Langer, survivalist again, so someone who knew the terrain, knew how to look after herself, could protect herself, knew what to do, and all those situations on the land. She was an experienced hiker, she was familiar with the area. She went missing on the Somerset area of the Long Trail east to Glastonbury, so it all seems to fixate, especially around the Long Trail area. Now, she was on a hike with her cousin Herbert Eisner. They had barely gone half a mile when Frida, I shouldn't laugh because it's horrible because she's dead. And Frida fell into a stream, and so she said, "I'm going to make my way back to camp to change her clothes." Her husband was already there because he had hurt his knee earlier on one of their hikes. Nor her husband nor her cousin ever saw her again. 400 people, including Massachusetts National Guard, searched for her, with helicopters from a Connecticut Coast Guard and US Army among others. They searched the area. Tan, please put your teeth in today. Gosh almighty. They searched the area meticulously, okay, but found nothing. But the strange thing is, 6 months after she went missing, they did find her body. Now, her body is the only body out of those missing people that has ever been found. But she was found near the Somerset Reservoir, an area that had been meticulously searched in the days and months prior, and there was no sign of her apart from that day. Her body was so decayed that no cause of death could be determined, leading people to wonder what had happened and what horrifying, horrific end had she met. Now, obviously, with things like that, people to this day surmised what could have happened, what is going on, what is happening in that area. People have said that there's curses, there's meant to be Bigfoot prolific in the area, there's meant to be a lot of UFO sightings there. Local Native Americans won't set foot on there because they do believe that the land is cursed. There's also a legend of an enchanted stone in the mountain that opens up to swallow humans and anything that steps on the stone. Some people at the time believed that the work of the disappearances was a serial killer in the area. And that's how he was getting them from that little crossroad, and that's why no one found the bodies, because he was taking them off somewhere. But others have said that they don't believe this theory because it doesn't fit the MO of a usual serial killer. You know, they're all different ages, they're different sexes, they don't seem to have anything in common. Could it have been an unfortunate state of affairs where these people happened to have fallen into one of the many open mine shafts that literally littered that area, and of course it would have become their grave, there'd be no way to get out, and if you didn't find them, you never know. But I find that hard to believe, that especially people that know the area, they walk it, they hike it, they know it, they hunt on it, they know the land, they would know the different mine routes that have been there, where they would know, they would be on the hunt, they would be on, looking out for it. And I would have thought, unless you fell down one and you instantly, say, broke your neck or you're unconscious, say you fell down and you maybe just broke a leg, if someone's out looking for you, say, like with Middy, they went to look pretty quick after he wasn't back and they worried that you're calling out someone's name that you didn't hear missing, they'd hear them and they'd call back and they'd be able to find them, or you'd see, I would have thought, something that had been disturbed or suddenly opened up, say even if it was covered up by a thin piece of wood that had brought it in and you fell down, someone not looking for you is going to find that. I mean, it could have been that way. But anyway, this is a mysterious episode. Some of the cases like Paula's are still open. No one knows. What do you think? UFOs? Serial killers? Curses? Enchanted stones? Bigfoot? What do you think's going on in the Bennington Triangle? As I said before, my lovelies, if you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, hit the ding-a-ling, all that lovely jazz. Thank you for watching. As always, you are so mega, mega, mega appreciated. It means so much to me. It would mean a lot if you subscribe to me too, please. As always, take 5 minutes out of the day for yourself, whether to look out of the window, take a beautiful deep centering breath, to have some self-care, to have some positive talk, to just have a nice drink, a cuppa, a beverage, or whatever you want, something to eat, some time for you to just sit and let your mind rest. Thank you for taking some of your time out to hang out with me. Until the next time, my lovelies, stay safe. As Mulder would say, the truth is out there.